So, if you're a regular visitor to this channel, you've probably noticed that last week I finished Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 2. All the jewels, all the collectibles, all the spells, you name it. It's not like I didn't expect it. I mean, all things must come to an end, and it was my, I think, video number 1181. So not a particularly, memorable milestone. But it did feel like the end of something. There's no denying that any of my videos that have featured The Boy Who Lived, those are the ones that have been the most popular. It's really come to define my channel. I mean, it's incredible how much of an impact it's had. I joined YouTube. It's incredible how much of an impact it's had. I mean, I joined YouTube in 2008 on a complete whim, and it was just that project that really stood out. Harry Potter and Philosopher's Stone for PlayStation 1. You just don't expect things like that to suddenly start something. And since then, 10,000 subscribers and over 11 million views. Now, that's magic. I know that if I put my mind to it, it wouldn't have taken me this long to get them all finished. I mean, it's been 4 years since the release of the last film. It's been an incredibly long time, but it's amazing just how passionate some of the fans are that are still keeping it going. I mean, just look how busy and popular the Harry Potter world out in Orlando is, and the Harry Potter studio tours over here in the UK. I mean, the demand's still there. And then we're going to have the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them series. I mean, I can't see it going away anytime soon. But seeing as this series has defined my YouTube channel so much, it's just interesting thinking about how I'm going to move forward after this. Don't worry, I'm not closing the channel or finishing it or anything like that, and I promise I will do Harry Potter PC at some point in the future. I'm just getting all the little details sort of tweaked out. But with any creative project, you've got to pinpoint where that project is heading, the direction it's going in. And that can be tricky for me sometimes. However, what I will say is that while I still have loads of ideas for this channel, I'm still going to keep going with it and just doing it because it is a good laugh for me. I mean, that's the most important thing. I think as long as the creator's enjoying it and the users who watch the channel are enjoying it, as long as everyone's happy, then that's the main thing. Anyway, on to the main subject of this video. I've done a couple of these quizzes now, and some of you have been sending links to ones that you'd like me to do, but I saw this one and I thought it was just really interesting. It's, what job would you have if you lived in a Harry Potter wizarding world? I mean, every wizard and witch has to pay the bills, sickles, galleons and knuts don't just grow on trees. Wait a minute, is that a silent K or not? I swear there's some characters in the series who say nuts and others who say knuts. I don't know, that's a debate as well in the comments. Comment below whether you think it should be knuts or nuts. Maybe there's probably an answer as well, I just haven't checked it out before. Alright, here we go. Which Diagon Alley shop would you visit first? Elop's Owl Emporium, Weasley Wizards Wheezes, Floor and Fortescue, Ice Cream Parlour, no, just loads of F's. Madame Malkin's, Blicky Cauldron, Flourish and Blots, Ollivander's One Shop, Quality Creative Supplies. Well, theoretically, you would go to Gringotts first. You've got to, because you have to get the money out, don't you? Unless you just walk around with loads of galleons and tickles all bundling in your pockets because you're such a player, got loads of money rolling in it. And then surely you go to Ollivander's because you need to get your wand, but then once you've got the wand, do you ever really need to go back into that shop? I don't know. I think personally I'll go for Ollivander's just because it really arouses my curiosity, that shop, just because of, going in there and choosing a wand and how it's so personal to you, Yeah, it's got to be Ollivander's. Which house would the Sorting Hat place you in? Well, I think we know the answer to this one. Gryffindor, obviously. Brave, dashing, heroic. I mean, that's definitely not me, but I'm choosing Gryffindor anyway. What form would your Patronus take? Now, this is a really interesting one. I think I might have chosen a dog last time. See if there's a swan, goat, phoenix, otter, stag, cat, Jack Russell Terrier. I mean, yes, I like to imagine my Patronus would be a dog, but I'm not saying it would be a Jack Russell Terrier. No, there's certainly better dogs in my opinion. No offence if you're a Jack Russell Terrier owner, but yeah, just not for me really. I think personally I would want to have more magic with the magic already, so I think I'm going to go for a phoenix because they're just amazing phoenixes, aren't they? And imagine it gliding around the room. I just think it'd be really elegant, even for Patronus. I mean, they're quite elegant things already. I think a phoenix would just have the upper hand. Which word would your friends use to describe you? This is getting personal. Brave, shy, loyal, friendly, intelligent, unique, athletic, ambitious, caring. I'd like to imagine I come under all of those. Maybe not athletic, this style here. Definitely not. I think overall I'm gonna go for unique. Because overall we are all unique. There's no one else quite like us on the earth. And that's something that makes me smile every day in a way. But I'd like to think that I'm particularly unique. I think if I said that to my friends, they would nod. In a good way, hopefully. Pick a character to take to the Yule Ball. Choices. Harry Potter, Ron Weasley. What on earth is up with Neville's picture? Hang about. Seriously, Neville Longbottom goes through the most amazing transformation. I suppose they're doing it for for that year at the Yule Ball. But really? I mean, there's so many better pictures of him now that he's become you know, the Gryffindor hunk that everyone knows him to be. Oh, come on, how could you choose between Fred or George? You can't, seriously, that would be so bad for the other twin. I think for me, it has to be Hermione Granger. I mean, that'd be a dream come true. Off the bucket list, that would be ticked. And who doesn't want to make Victor Crumb jealous? I mean, that's got to be an ambition of everyone, surely. Which wizarding dessert do you most want to indulge in? Chocolate frog and Betty Bott's flavored beans, I think I want to indulge in them, but I wouldn't call them a dessert. I wouldn't, you know, go through the grand Hogwarts feast and then say, oh, could you pass me a chocolate frog? You know, I think I want to cleanse my palate with some delicious sweet chocolate. Treacle tart. Harry loves treacle tart, doesn't he? I know it's one of those sort of trivial facts that, you know, it'd be like in the sort of bonus round of a pub quiz. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's that magical, really. Unless it, like, you know, does a little dance at the start. That'd be amazing, actually. Dancing treacle tart would be a bugger in the stomach, probably, but there you go. I think overall, looking at those, cauldron cake sounds interesting. And I remember the first game of Harry Potter on the PS2. Every time he would get one, he would just be amazed. Like, even after like the 400 billionth cauldron cake, he'd go, a cauldron cake! Like it's the most magical thing in the world. So there you go, cauldron cake it is. Which subject would you excel in? Ooh, tricky. The thing is, and I say this in the most modest way possible, I was quite a bit of a nerd at school. I was fairly good across the board at every subject. I just took it to heart and just went through it for each one. So I like to imagine that I'd be a little bit like Hermione, probably not as brainy. But I've mentioned this before, overall it's got to be charm. It's because of the sheer versatility of the stuff that you learn in that subject. I mean, yeah, I'd love all of those, apart from, well, Muggle studies. That sounds a bit boring, a bit dull, doesn't it, really? And divination, astronomy. I don't know, I like stars and planets, but it's not for me, really. Charm's got to be where it's at. I mean, making things fly in first year, now that's cool. Whereas astronomy, it's like, I saw Jupiter today. What did you do? I made a cat fly across the room. What would you get sent to detention for? Jeez Louise, and seeing as I've just said that I'm quite a bit of a swot, detention was never really one of my things, I would say. I'm quite into my food, so down to the kitchen, sneaking down to get some food, that sounds a little bit like me, but I'll tell you it's difficult this one because I'm not really a rule breaker. That's probably the most uncool thing to say, isn't it? I'm not really a rule breaker. I stick to the rules. I know they're there for a reason after all, but even so, it's not a cool thing to follow them. Trying to enter the opposite sex's dormitory. That just sounds incredibly perverted. I would watch out for any student who gets caught doing that. Out of all of those, swimming in the Black Lake sounds like the coolest thing of all. I think it's one of those things where if no one was watching, I'd just do it for sheer hell of it. It'd be a hell of an experience, and just crossing my fingers that a giant squid doesn't pull me down. Yeah, I've got to go for swimming in the Black Lake. What would you ask for as your Hogwarts graduation present? A trip to Romania, a sack of gallons? Some of these questions are brilliant. I mean, the house elf sounds really, really cool, but it's like, ooh, house elf, the guild. I think overall, I mean, as much as I'm a nerd and would love a self-writing quill, I think overall it's got to be a Firebolt Supreme. That sounds like something that's really, really worth something. Something you can really treasure and just use to go and explore the world, as long as no one sees you, of course. Pick a house to raise your family in. God, this is really thinking ahead long term. I'm sorry, who would choose Bathilda Bagshot's house as creepy, old, abandoned? Oh god, you must really hate your family if you want to go there. Privet Drive's out of the question because Muggle dwelling where Harry experienced all kinds of horror. No thanks. Similarly, Malfoy Manor, I mean, looks fairly impressive, but it also looks really dark and gaunt, so nah, not for me. I think overall, just because of how much of a connection Harry has with the place, I think it's got to be the Burrow. It's one of those places that just seems amazing. You got Dragon Keeper, wow. Wowzer. I find that amazing because I didn't even choose Care of Magical Creatures. I think that would have been dead set if I'd gone for that. Having said that though, I do love dragons. I love the idea of looking after animals as a career. I don't know why I considered a bit more when I was back at school actually. Some people may find dragons terrifying, but you're intrigued by the winged beasts. That really gets me actually, because I'm a massive fan of sharks, which is quite an interesting topic to go for, because I remember seeing Jaws when I was really young. I must have been about 5. I probably saw it way too young for that sort of film. But I don't know, ever since then I've just been obsessed with them. I think they're really amazing creatures. And I think with all large creatures, especially like sharks or big cats or dragons in this case, yes, they can be ferocious and dangerous, but it's also about having respect for them. You've come to enjoy their company more than you enjoy being with other wizards. I think that depends on my mood really. I think there'll be some days where I'll be glad to get away from everyone and just be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go and chill with my Norwegian Ridgeback guys, see you later. But on the other hand, you can't really take a Hungarian horntail down the pub with you for a drink, can you? Oh man, last night we were on fire, weren't we? No, yeah, we really were. My Hungarian horntail set us alight. Overall, I'm quite happy with that result. You know, so far, these quizzes have been hitting the nail on the head quite nicely. Let's look at some of the other results actually. I can't be curious now as to what else there is. Daily Prophet journalist. Daily Prophet journalist, that's the thing. I mean, I love the idea of being a writer, but Daily Prophet is such a pile of poo. That's the thing actually, in the wizarding world, there isn't really a good press outlet. I mean, you've got the Daily Prophet, which gets it wrong all the time, and you've got the Quibbler, which is just like one of those joke comics, isn't it? Really? Minister for Magic. I like the idea of that. Train dragons and then become Minister of Magic. What a career that would be. Aura. It's a dangerous job, but someone's got to do it. Actually, that's a really cool job actually. I think Dragon Trainer has to be up there with Aura, because Aura's like, there's a position of power, and yeah, man, you really respect them, don't you? I've just seen them underneath that T-trolley server, right at the other end of the line. That's like one of those sort of part-time jobs you sort of do just in your spare time, you know, volunteering really. Although bakery and Dragon Age does sound quite nice actually. Even so, it's not like the sort of thing you bring up in the careers meeting at school, do you? I want to be a T-trolley lady. It's like, well, at least your ambitions are achievable. Hope you enjoyed that, and I'll put the link to the quiz in the description below. Let me know what position you got in the comments below, and high five to anyone who got Dragon Keeper. We'll start a Dragon Keeper army. Be awesome. On that note, I think it's time for me to go and do some dragon research. I'll see you next time.